Okay, so let me talk this. Let me go back a second because now I'm going to get into frozen food. All right? Frozen vegetables are fine. There's actually a big debate going on that they might actually be better for you than fresh. Now, here's what I'll say. If you have the opportunity or the ability to go to a farmer's market and get fresh produce, absolutely do that 100% of the time. Okay? But if you don't, it doesn't matter if you get fresh or frozen, and in some circles, people feel that frozen's better for you. And let me explain why. Because when things are frozen, they're picked, flash frozen, bagged, shipped. All right, so there's not a lot of time between when it was picked and then frozen. So all the nutrients are trapped inside it. Whereas something that's fresh is picked, boxed, transported, unloaded, unboxed, put on the shelf, and then finally you get it. So how long does that process take? So that's the argument, is we're not necessarily sure how long the process takes from the minute it was picked to the minute you picked it up at the produce section of the grocery store, compared to the frozen that was picked and flash frozen right away, and then they could take as much time as they want because it's frozen. All right? So same with fish, same with beef, things like that. Like frozen's fine. The only thing is when you tend to freeze stuff, especially like chicken, they actually have to create a kind of like a liquid to keep it in, which usually has a little more salt in it than obviously if you buy it fresh. All right, in the meat section of the grocery store. Now, beans, any bean is fine, can's fine. Just make sure you rinse them before you eat them. Nuts, let's talk nuts for a second. Nuts, ideally you want raw, and it doesn't matter which one. Walnuts, almonds, pecans, cashews, it doesn't matter. Like, you're not eating that many, but it's super simple to go overboard, okay? Super simple. So like limit. We're talking like, I think it's like between 12 and 23 almonds for most of you guys is like a snack, all right? Now you want raw because when you cook it, you kill a lot of nutrients, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because the next thing I need to tell you is, for some people, nuts can aggravate their stomach because nuts have something called anti-nutrients in it. And what anti-nutrients do, if you think about the job of a nut in the wild, it's to survive. So an animal comes and eats the nut, it goes into the digestive tract, and then that nut's gonna release anti-nutrients to try to survive the stomach acid and then end up back on the ground and then hopefully produce more nuts. So in certain cases, people will get aggravated because of that. So if you have the opportunity to soak your nuts for like an hour or so and then let them dry, I would definitely do that. But here's the thing, and here's my little thing I always say. I do not have the data that says when you do that, you ingest X amount percentage more of the nutrients than if you don't. So I can't help you on that. But other than that, guys, really what we're looking at, let me talk protein bars real fast. Here's the thing. Fit in 42 is about a lifestyle. So the last thing I want is you guys walking around and your friends like, oh, what are you doing? Tell me, like, how are you eating? And you're like, oh, I have a shake for breakfast, a bar for lunch, and a sensible dinner, right? I don't want that. I want you to tell people, like, I'm having these meals and those meals, and I want you to use a protein bar as an emergency. Like, you're driving around and you're like, oh my goodness, I haven't eaten for 3 hours. I don't see anything around here that would be good to eat. Well, luckily I have this Quest bar in my glove box or in my purse or wherever, and I could eat that to hold me over. So you just heard me. Quest bars are great. They're very high in protein. They have a ton of fiber. Plus, you could actually, like, there's certain ones, like if you go to quest.com or questbar.com, they can tell you how to make like cookies out of them and stuff. But don't do that yet. But anyhow, there's other ones called Epic bars, which are more like the caveman style, where they're just like almost like jerky, like consolidated meat, like turkey and cranberry is a good one. We eat some of those, and we have those at the house as an emergency. So that's how I want you to use a protein bar. I don't want you to get into the habit of constantly eating protein bars all the time. All right. Other than that, guys, primarily, what do we hit? We hit our vegetables, we hit our fruits, we hit our meats, we hit our dairy, we hit our eggs, we hit some of the canned goods as far as beans. Let me talk salad dressings real fast. We're looking for balsamic vinaigrettes. Okay, I don't want fat-free. You need that fat. Now, there's some, I don't know if you guys are in an area where they have like these olive oil shops, but one of my clients got me a while ago, and it's still held me over, is they got me lemon-infused vinegar, and then lemon-infused balsamic vinegar, and then it was lemon-infused olive oil, and then a raspberry-infused balsamic vinegar. And then so what you do is you put a tablespoon of the olive oil on your salad, and then get the raspberry vinegar on it. You gotta put the olive oil first so the vinegar will stick to the olive oil, and then you have like this very fruity type salad dressing, but it's really good. So we want the fat in salad dressing, okay? So then other than that, guys, we've hit the store. So please comment below. This is your seminar, so 3 takeaways, obviously, but then also comment below if you have any questions. If you want me to go over anything else, I'm more than happy to. All right, guys, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.